Well. Welcome, everybody. How's everybody's Friday? How's everybody's Friday? How are you, Carol?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right.
Yeah. Welcome, you guys, to the burn pit with Inked. We're gonna burn a little fire around here because that's what I do best. That's a burn fire. I'm on my TikTok live on this side, but I'm probably going to end that because then that way I don't have to focus on it. So anybody that's here, come on over, click the link in the bio, and come hang out. Hello from Los Angeles. But I'm going to end this live because I can't pay attention to you guys. So come join me, Dumpster Fire News. The link's in my bio. So if you click the link tree, you can find me. All right. Have a good one. All right. Back to business. Carol, thank you for joining me. Thanks for coming to hang out.
Thanks for inviting me.
Anytime, you know you're my buddy.
Yep.
Anyways, whoo, what a day it's been. I'm so glad it's Friday.
Right.
Yeah, I'm kind of had a moment. I don't have much faith in humanity anymore.
Well, welcome to that party.
Yes, I know. It took me a little bit. I want to say welcome to everyone. I see you know, my buttercup always joins me. He's in the chat, but I don't want to read the chat because no one else is there. So he doesn't need to be in the chat. He just needs to listen and not pay attention to the chat so that he doesn't have to go in and out. So, what should we talk about first? What's happening today in current events?
God, which one? Which current event?
Well, let's talk about Mr. Biden wanting more money for Ukraine. Well,
You
oh
mean more
well.
money to launder for himself?
Well, I mean, you said it, not me.
I mean, at this point, sending Ukraine money is really. I mean, are we going to acquire them as one of our acquirements as part of the United States of America? Because at this point, we've sent them so much money, they might as well be like a part of the United States of America.
I think what's really interesting about that is that when all the COVID stuff was going on, they didn't want to give us a dollar.
No, not even. I mean, where were they?
Yeah, they made it really difficult. They were fighting, they were pushing back. Oh, the debt, the deficit, dot 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 dot. But yet and still, we have billions of dollars to send off to Ukraine, which I find to be very interesting. Very interesting. Wonder how that works. Can we claim them on our taxes? Do you think?
I know, right? I used to say that about any immigration issue. People would say to me, well, what about the people coming and blah, 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 blah. And I'd say, listen, I have no problem with people immigrating here. Here's what you do. You put a little box on my tax form and you ask me, do you want a certain percentage of my money, of your money, to go to help, immigrants who are coming to the country? There's more than half the country that would click that box yes.
Right.
But why do I have to? I mean, I literally feel like at the age of 51, I've helped pay for so many children milk and bottles and diapers that I should have visitation.
Well, the problem is we have visitation from people who aren't necessarily here. So we can't visit them exactly because they're not here. We're just spending money on whatever. We're just throwing it into the wind. But, it makes it easy when you say, oh, it's for Ukraine. Makes it easier.
It doesn't really matter in the end because it's not actual money to begin with. Because at this point, they're just printing money that has no backing at all.
This is true. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I know this. So, like, what's interesting. So today on my Instagram, that's connected to my TikTok, I got a lovely death threat. I sent you the wonderful, lovely screenshots of it. And what's really ironic and funny about that is that we're being constantly, I don't know, what do you want to say, hated on social media, but yet and still people can aimlessly send threats and call you names and do all these things, and it's just like they go unscathed. And today it was like, it was interesting because even before I did this, I had to like get my mind right because I'm so burnt out and tapped out. And on the way home, I saw this video from a guy that was saying the reason why we don't want to be called cis is because we feel like we're superior.
What in the ever? You know why I don't want to be called cis? Because there is no such thing.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly. But see, here's the thing. Labels have been put on everything now, right? So now everything becomes a label. So you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, right? So when we say, hey, I am who I am, I don't need a pronoun or a label, then it's a problem. But if they want us to refer to them as something, that's also a problem. So I don't understand. They would like to think we're inferior, but how are we inferior to something that we are naturally? I don't understand that.
Well, according to this,
Oh, you Googled it?
oh yes. I don't mess around. We have two different things. Now, if you go in the Webster Merriam Dictionary, cis is an adjective characterized by having certain atoms or groups of atoms on the same side of the longitudinal axis of a double bond or the plane of a ring in a molecule. Now, let's go on to the new definition of cis because we've decided that everything has to have 3 letters before it. We're going to call that a pronoun. Cissexual was coined, and say that 3 times fast, was coined in the mid-1990s by a German sexologist.
Okay.
He used the Latin preposition cis, meaning on the side of, as a contrast to transsexual. Trans being the Latin for on the other side of, or across. The phrase eventually morphing into cisgender picked up steam in gender and sexualities throughout the late 1990s and early 2000s when, boom, 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 they started pushing the narrative of nobody has to be male or female because we don't want you to have an identity at all. So we're going to throw so much crap at you that you won't know who you are, and therefore you're going to try to grasp on. It's like somebody says, it's like an ice cream store. You can have chocolate, you have 31 flavors or whatever, and people are like, there's so many flavors, I just don't know what to do. So I'm just going to start, I'm zing, zang, zing, zoom, zing. And because I have to have all these things attached to me because I'm so confused, I don't know who I am, I have to now attach one of those things to you as well, therefore making you different than me.
Right.
Because I don't know who the hell I am, and therefore the only way I can define myself is by telling you who you are.
Well, I think that was brought on because they're called trans, right? So it's not fair for them to have an intro without us having an intro. But what they fail to realize is that's just what you are. You're transgender.
Well, and besides the 0.003 or 0.03% that actually is suffering from gender dysphoria, the rest of the people have just chosen that they think it's cool to be that way, and maybe it is in their circle and the way their world goes, maybe that's cool. But if just because you think something's cool and you want to be it doesn't mean I want to be it, and then they're going to try to drag all the gay people in with them. So
yeah, and let's talk about that because you're gay.
I'm gay.
So
that's why I call myself right side lesbian art.
That is right. That is who she is, right side lesbian on all of her social media. She does amazing artwork too. When this is over, I'll have to show you guys some because I have some hanging in my house because I am blessed by it. So what is your take now on this LGBTQ plus community?
We have the gay community, I think, is really split. So I don't think that the actual old school gays or the one girl on TikTok named it well, and I can't remember what it was, but there is a growing number of not just conservative or Republican gay people, but centered gay people who are like, don't associate me with the whole LGBT thing. It's not who I am. It's not who I want to be. It's nothing for me,
Right.
you know? So there, I personally don't want anything to do with that particular community. And I get tired of them saying, well, you always vote against yourself and this, that, and the other thing. And that's just a statement made by somebody who has only, we used to say that there's the most dangerous person is someone with half the facts.
Okay.
Someone who knows because a person who's ignorant to something is just ignorant to it. Generally, someone who's ignorant to it, ignorance meaning I know nothing about a subject, I'm completely ignorant to it, those people really don't speak to the subject. So we're calling them ignorant. I am completely ignorant on what it's like to be Asian.
Right.
Therefore, I would not even try to speak on what it's like to be Asian because I'm ignorant to it. I've never experienced it. I know nothing about it. That's an ignorant person. Whereas somebody who has all the knowledge on a subject generally speaks very little because they already know it all. So they only speak really when they're asked. But somebody who has half the knowledge on the subject or some of the knowledge, like an LGBT ally,
Right.
suddenly they know everything and they're going to rescue us all from ourselves or from them or from the injustices that we're all suffering.
Well, what's interesting too, we should talk about allies because that right now has been probably by far the worst thing we've been experiencing is the quote unquote ally.
Yeah, the
Because
ally.
when they don't agree with you, then they're no longer your ally.
Yeah, an ally, it's like keep your friends close and your enemies closer because the ally is, in my opinion, my biggest enemy. Yeah. Because the fact that you're telling me that I'm advocating for you. I can advocate for myself. I don't need you.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with me. I have a perfectly good brain. I have college degrees. I live out in the middle of nowhere and am able to get the help that I need and take care of myself. I have a job. What do I need you? What do I need you for?
It's been interesting for me because being a Black conservative is, I mean, we're in the same boat at this point, being a gay conservative. They're probably more vile than anyone of the sort because they feel now they can call us the same names that Black liberals are calling us, so they've taken these names and these negative connotations and attached it to us, and they think that it's okay for them to say that because somebody's given them some false sense of power.
It's just so strange to me because as we've talked about in the past, I spent some time around real white supremacists.
Yeah.
The real thing.
Right.
Not everybody, oh, it's all white supremacy. That's a white supremacist. You don't know a white supremacist. Right. I know some white supremacists. I was stuck in that thing. I had to do and say things. It's no.
But here's the thing, right? Like when you say we don't know, I'm a firm believer that I would rather know you're a racist. Right. So a lot of what's happened is people are using names and they call you as a projection onto you. But realistically, how much power does the word have? The word only has power if I give it power.
Yeah, kind of like that guy that I made the video pulled up next to me the other day because he didn't like that I got in front of him in the traffic circle. He pulls up next to me and shakes his head.
Yeah.
Why are you shaking your head at me? You are less than a speck of nothing in my life.
Forgotten. God.
I mean, you literally don't matter. Right. And so we now have this problem because we have social media, we have the internet, we have all these people who are less than a speck of nothing, myself included, who suddenly are talking and having their views and doing all this stuff. Well, when social media goes away, guess what? We're going to go back to being
nothing.
And all these people are going to implode because who are you going to call a racist? Your mom, your dad, your friends?
Well, what's interesting even about that is that I don't even know that it's to call someone a name. I think it's just the ability to do something, feel like you have power, and then have no real consequence behind it, right? So you can pretty much do anything, say anything, and the consequence is what? Losing your platform, your account that you can just go make a new one.
Or like some people make 50,000 new ones.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, what's the real consequence, right? So I have somebody on Instagram calling me names, making me death threats, all these things because they think they're anonymous. They think you can't find out who they are. But that's where a lot of people are making mistakes because we all leave a footprint somewhere
Right.
that, sends it back to us. You know what I'm saying? So what was your unpopular opinion of the day today?
Oh, God, I don't even remember.
I should have brought it up.
Let me find it right now.
I was like, I didn't get to see it today. I wasn't on. The last couple of days have been pretty busy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to head to Texas next week, so it's a little short. My week's a little short.
Or are you going to visit?
Yeah, I am. I'm going to visit. Um, it's like I want to. It's so I'm kind of rushing, and then like I say, today I'm just a little off, just because I'm dealing with stupidity and ignorance, which I should be used to by now.
Well, today's the 49th. I found my unpopular opinion. Let me see if I can bring it up. I've really been the interesting thing was I got access. Now, I've been on the TikTok Creator Fund since I got however many 10,000 viewers.
Right.
And I managed to make it up to about 85,000, and I've been off of it this whole time. And then they put me back on, and then they immediately pulled down a whole bunch of my videos so they can take me off of it again, so they don't have to give me any money.
Well, I'm not a part of the creator fund because it's like pennies.
Yeah, I've had that $85 sitting in there the whole time, and I've never taken it out.
Yeah, but I mean, it's literally pennies. What is it? Like 2 or 3 cents per 1,000 views or something like that.
Uh-huh.
So what are you actually supposed to do with that? I mean, since let's talk about TikTok, okay? Because my main account is in view only mode right now for is that you?
Okay, I remember my unpopular opinion now.
Okay.
Sorry.
Old lady.
You asked that?
What is it? I can't hear you. I don't have sound. I don't have audio. Hold on. I can't hear you anymore. So it might be me though that happens. So hold on. No, you don't have audio. Hold on 1 second because I lost her audio. It says your network connection. So let me take you out and then come back. Okay, she's gonna leave and come back. So, let's see. It might be me. Let me see if it's me. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, I have no audio. I don't know why this happens on my end. But hold on. Sorry, guys. Hey, Brian, can you let me know if you hear her? Brian's here, so. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to figure out if it's my side. She did. Can you, Carol? Okay. So no one can hear you. So can you log out and log back in? It's just me. You do a dance. Oh, well, since we're doing this, you know what? Look at I got like my dumpster fire gear. So all of this comes from the website. I think somewhere over here, my t-shirt. Oh, I'm sorry, it's hard. It's window. Stop sex trafficking, and it has it on the back of the t-shirt really big. Oh, there we go. We
Can you
have
hear me
audio.
now?
Yes.
I think what happened is someone tried to call me because I keep getting these spam calls all day long.
Oh, okay.
And it just
All right.
iPhone magic. I
Right.
remember my unpopular opinion.
Okay, go ahead.
Zombie invasion is coming.
Oh no, I don't want to know.
Yes, that was it today. I was on a good one this morning when I woke up, but I'll tell you what, the thing that's really pissing me off right now, to be completely honest with you, is Obama.
Okay, let's talk about it.
This guy. Now, listen, remember, I used to be on the left, so I voted for him twice.
Yep.
Because he seemed like the best idea at the time. This guy is so evil. And I'm just, every day I learn more and more about how he's basically running this country.
Well, see, you know, it's crazy that you say that, because remember, he was the one that said he wanted to sit in the basement and not, you know, have to be the president, but could be the president. So it's kind of where we're at right now, essentially. You know what I'm saying? So like, here's the thing though, there's no possible way that a man who cannot form a complete sentence is running this country.
No, I think what happened is he was already a puppet when he was the VP.
Correct.
Obama basically said, listen, we're all in this trafficking thing. We're all doing this. I know you have a ton of money in Ukraine. So do I. I will let you and your son make a ton of money. You can be the VP. You just keep your mouth shut and do what I tell you to do.
Okay.
Then Trump got in there and messed everybody up for 4 years.
Right.
Pissed everybody off. And then basically they all got together with their little friends, George Soros and Klaus Schwab and Yava, whatever, and whoever they is. And they said, well, we can't put Obama back in there, but we can put the puppet back in there. We know that what happened with Dominion. We know what happened in Italy. We know what happened in Ukraine is where it got streamed from. And now he's in there. And he's so old, if that is even him, we could go on about that, but he's so freaking old. All he cares about is making sure his son, the crackhead. So everything that he's doing, Obama says, do this and you'll get money. Do this and you'll get money. Do this and your son will get money. So now Obama's in the background, and I don't know if you saw the video I posted where he's talking about this is what you do. You confuse everybody. You put tons of information out there.
Yes.
He's literally so emboldened, so arrogant about his position that he doesn't even care, because he's just telling us exactly what he's doing.
Well, the thing is, we're in a place now where nobody believes anything anyways, right? So like, if you are the person that has been following along this entire time, right? So if you have been walking in the dark and someone's telling you, hey, turn right, turn left. Okay, wait, stop. Okay, go forward, turn left, turn right. If you're that person, it doesn't really matter because you're removed. It's those of us who are like, wait a minute. It's like our show that we watched on, you know, the Upload, right?
Uh-huh.
It's that same type of situation, right? So it's like when you watch that, you could say, you know, that could be real. Like that could happen, right?
Right.
So the more information, like the more things they put in front of us, especially via TV, radio, news, whatever they are controlling, essentially gets into your mind, and then it starts to make you think, and then you say that could happen, and then you lose the ability to critically think. because someone's telling you how to think all of the time. Because we have a vice president who literally talks in circles. She says nothing. She says a whole lot of words to say nothing.
She says nothing at all.
Yeah. So she's saying nothing, but words came out of her mouth. We have this supposed vice president, president who's been placed there. I mean, he wasn't actually, voted in, he was placed there, and he could say nothing. So it's just like this double edged sword of complete incompetency, supposedly running this country. And then we have, everyone's dead at this point. Like, there's no people that are alive. And then the one young person, I don't know. I'm at the place now where it's becoming extremely painful, and I'm not sure what to do with it.
Well, I told somebody the other day, a customer came in and he was trying to talk to me about conspiracy theories, which, as you well know, I love to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned everybody's dead, and he just blew his mind. But the thing of it is that I think what's getting to me at this point is whatever there's going to be. Okay, you're going to try to push through socialism. You're going to try to push through the New World Order. You're going to try to kill us all. You're going to declare martial law, or the Chinese troops come marching through, the UN's coming marching. Everybody's going to turn into a zombie. Everybody's going to drop dead when 5G goes turned, whatever. But we all know something's going to happen. Everybody knows it. We know it. The left knows it. The center knows it. You talk to anybody, they're like, yeah, something's going to happen. Get with it. What are you waiting for? They're trying to drive us crazy. It's not going to happen. You're just giving us more and more time to prepare for whatever it is you're trying to do. And
but I ultimately don't think they know. I think the whole thing was to break us down with fear, right? And then divide, conquer, and isolate.
And then what?
Control. You can, anything can happen at that point. So once they have control over movement, control over your thoughts, look what they managed to do with COVID. Do you think, honestly, if they never said to you, wear a mask, you would wear one?
No, hell no.
No, and I'm not saying us. We've been rebelling since day one. I'm literally saying, like, the people who are running around still to this day with 3 masks on and a visor, face shield. Okay. I just traveled to Phoenix, right? I was just there. And literally there was a guy in the airport with 3 masks on and a face shield getting on the airplane. Of course, he's coming back to Seattle. So that tells us everything that we need to know about his thought process. Today, I'll give you another example. So today, the train was stopped, so we had to get off because there was some police activity.
Okay.
And this lady was nice and say, "Hey, I'm going downtown. If you guys are going downtown, you can get a ride with me." And I was like, "Okay." So she had a mask on the train, and then when we got to her, we walked to her car. We get to her car, and as soon as we get in the car, she says to me, I am vaxxed and boosted, so I'm okay with you being without a mask, and that way you can feel safe that I'm not wearing a mask. Yeah. So I asked her, I said, would you have worn a mask if they didn't tell you to? She said yes, because when she moved to Seattle, that most of the people are Asian in her area and they wear masks. So she feels like culturally it's accepted and we should all consider wearing masks when we're in public places. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Close your mouth.
I freaking can't with these. I had a lady come in to the store because I work in retail, but where I live and work is super red out here. So you have these people come in. This lady comes in. She's got a mask on. She's got gloves on. I'm loading the car. She won't come within 6 feet of me. She's maintaining her social distancing the whole time. She gets in the car and leaves. I'm just like, oh my goodness. Of course, she's got her husband wearing a mask, you know. Then later on, another lady comes in. The lady, I'm telling you, has to be 80, 85 years old. She's got a mask on. She doesn't want me to load her car for her because I'm getting over a cold. Here's the thing. You cannot stop the inevitable. And the inevitable is that someday you are going to move on to whatever is next.
Right.
And if you're 80 or 85, the inevitability of that is extremely close.
Correct.
So you're going to spend the last days of your life in a bubble being terrified of the inevitable.
Because they told you that if you got vaxxed and you got boosted, you could live essentially, right? So now everyone feels like they have these superpowers and they think that you are going to prevent them from living longer when the reality is no one knows when their time is.
Right. And not only that, but statistics are now showing that if you got all those injections, your chances of getting certain things, and I'm not just talking about the actual original COVID, I'm talking about all kinds of other things,
You
is
can say
much
those
higher.
things. You know, you can say I'm here.
I know, but I mean, if I were to get into, you know, you're gonna have VADES in
Exactly.
the next 2 years,
Right.
and congratulations, you've depleted your entire immune system, and actually, you're so afraid of dying that you've actually killed yourself.
So today, the Washington Post said that the unvaccinated are no longer the highest rate for people dying. So it's the elderly and the the immunocompromised, even though you're vaccinated, are the ones dying from COVID.
Right. But
It's not the unvaxxed.
The most interesting thing, vaccine acquired immune deficiency syndrome, okay? That is the serious reality of what's going to happen now, because all of these people, if you go and watch certain scientists, and I'm not a big fan of any scientists, don't get me wrong. I think they're all paid by someone. But the basics of what they're using in order to inject the vaccine into people, which is the graphene oxide, it's surrounded by an envelope, and that envelope includes HIV. So what most scientists say is it is slowly breaking down the immune system, thus the blood clots. Now, the most interesting thing is when you go read things that are written by morticians,
Right,
who are cutting these people open, and the
right.
things that are inside of their veins are unlike anything they've ever seen. So, but if you go to Reuters, the fact checkers, who I'd like to meet a fact checker.
It's you. What are you talking about? You are the fact checker.
I am fact checking the fact checkers to tell you that the fact checkers have no idea what the facts are.
Well, we know that. It's just their opinion.
They're saying that VADES is, and the COVID vaccination does not hurt the immune system. But every other article says that you're going to get VADES.
Okay, so even if you don't, let's talk about the fact that all these people who are quadruple vax boosted, I don't know, gave up their firstborn, cut off their right arm. I don't know. They all have gotten COVID multiple times.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Multiple times.
Yep.
So explain to me why. I mean, you would think, okay, you once, but they're getting it multiple times, like back to back to back.
It's yeah, like, and now people that I know that are vaccinated are getting long COVID.
Yes, what they said would come to those who were unvaxxed.
Right, and I just got over. I'm almost just barely over a cold, and I feel fine. I could take a deep breath right now for about 2 minutes straight and not stop taking a deep breath.
Right.
But a friend of mine who only got the J&J shot is now getting tested for long COVID. And each time he got COVID, it was like for a month and a half he had COVID. When I had COVID, which was the original COVID before the variants, the actual COVID I had in December of 2020.
Okay.
It lasted about 3 to 5 days and I was fine. So now you have this thing, whereas, you know, I know other people who got vaccinated and they were in the hospital. Oh, I'm so glad. If I hadn't gotten the vaccine, it would have been a lot worse. Really? Because I didn't have the vaccine and it wasn't worse. And I had the original and you only have a variant.
See, and that's what's interesting because it weakens with the variants, but yet and still the people who I know people who were my brother and his whole family got it. So my sister-in-law got it, my nephew got it, and my brother. My brother was super sick. I mean, it was scary. My sister-in-law couldn't even have the opportunity to get sick because she had to take care of my brother and my nephew was sick for a day because
Wow.
he's 10.
Okay.
So he literally had a fever for a day and then he was fine. That was it. So my brother was sick for days. I mean, it took him probably 2 months to really recover. And he had to have like IVs and everything. But it was because when he got sick, he didn't take care of himself. Now, my sister-in-law, who had to get, vaccinated for work because she's an RN, she's having heart issues now.
Yep.
So I have another friend who I would love to get on the show, who is having some side effects of the vaccine, is going through some serious health issues. Like she just is like recovering back to like a normal life. So I think, unfortunately, no one's talking about the side effects. But then I said, I wonder if anyone in the White House ever really got vaccinated.
Right.
Right? So like, did they ever actually really get the vaccine? Because if I had to be honest, I don't think they did. Like I struggle with thinking that they're actually truly vaccinated with the actual vaccine.
And that's the thing. Maybe they got the vaccine, maybe they got the real vaccine that actually works. The thing that gets me is that we had to be careful because we talk about they're poisoning the air. Now we know they are.
Right.
They're poisoning the water. We know they are. Now, they don't have to drink the same water we drink. They don't have to eat the same food that we eat. And we could get into that's another, the food processing plants that have been destroyed.
Yes.
They don't have to eat that food, but they do have to breathe the same air as us. Unless they're all underground. But I mean, people say they've seen them above ground, so who the hell knows? But the thing is, whenever you invent something, you always invent a vaccine for it. So if they invented COVID, they have a vaccine already. Is it the vaccine they're giving all the people out here? Doubtful.
No, I absolutely don't think so. I think they thought too that we would all jump on board and that we would all fall in line and that we would all just take it and do as we were told.
Well, why wouldn't they? They've been forcing television programming down our throats.
They never for any time thought we would rebel the way we did and push back and question. I just don't believe it. And that's why there was a time where they were exercising this false power over us. Mandatory vaccines. You can't go into here. You can't go into there. You must wear a mask. That's why they pushed so hard when the airlines were like, we're done, fuck off. The air filtration in the airplanes is outstanding. You don't need a fucking mask. Like the whole thing about it, ultimately, when it boils down, has been about power and control. So I have a problem with the American people so willingly giving up control.
Well, it's not over the course of it. It's just, I was telling somebody the other day, it absolutely amazes me because somebody sent me a video of some guy who's talking about they've been planning this for 80 years. And I literally commented, they've been planning this for 2,000 years. And they've tried it numerous times. If you go, I don't know if you know what's happening in France, but they just falsely reelected the same person who everybody wanted out.
Right.
So they're not just stealing U.S. elections. They're placing them in every country, everywhere. And we all know it now.
Well, it has to be to bring in your new world order. They got to have all the right people in the right places.
Right. But the thing is back, I don't know if you saw the video I posted about the DuPonts.
Yes, I did.
Okay. So the thing about that video is there was a time called the Reign of Terror. And what they were doing was going around trying to drag out all the aristocrats, aka the NWO, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call them, the big people, and kill them all. And that's how the DuPonts ended up here, because they freaking took off and came here.
Yeah. Well, I know Mikey's gonna do a like a docuseries on the 13 bloodlines. So
that's dangerous.
Yeah, he's gonna break them down, each of them down, and really dig deep and then connect all the dots so people can really see how this has worked. So yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
What people have to get used to is that this has been going on for a long time, and they've failed every time they've tried it. But now we've gotten to I think that the problem that we have now is that we can't, they'll fail. But will they fail one of two ways?
Mm-hmm.
They might fail. If they fail and we don't go and get all the actual bloodlines that have been doing this, it will happen again and again and again until we finally figure out that in order to get the tick out, you have to get the whole tick out. So they want us to fight each other, because if we're focused on left, right, gay, straight, black, white, we're not focused on those 13 families, or God knows whoever the hell is doing all this.
So so what do you think is making a difference today? I mean, you're a little older than I am, but yet and still, I've never experienced anything like this in like a lifetime of which I can remember, where literally the government is just all over what they have the power to do.
Well, actually, in my opinion, we've all been experiencing it the whole time. The New World Order's been here the whole time. And if you want to, they've been doing it the whole time. It's just that we weren't paying attention. We didn't know. Now we know.
Okay.
They've been doing it the whole time. We pay taxes. They take taxes out of our paycheck, which means basically we pay them to allow us to work. Then we go and pay sales tax on the stuff that we worked to either create,
right,
or sell.
Right.
Then we pay taxes on food. We pay taxes. Why are we paying for water? There's water. The planet is like 75% water. Why are we paying for it?
Right.
And then we pay taxes on the water.
Right.
So they've been doing this to us for a really long time. And then they have the TV that's trying to program us, and the internet. The educational system is not for education. It's for indoctrination. We know that now.
Correct.
The medical system is not to heal us. It's to keep us sick and just barely alive, so they can give us more medicine and make us pay more money. And then we have to pay money for insurance so that we can pay money. When I went to the hospital for my kidney stones, they barely did anything. Boom, $10,000. $10,000.
Right.
Are you kidding me? Why?
Okay, so if you think about it, like if you get an itemized bill for any hospital stay, it'll get reduced. It'll get reduced because they're charging you $500 for a Tylenol, right? So if we go back, my daughter's 21. So if we go back 22 years, when I had Andrea via C-section, just her stay in the nursery, where she never stayed, she never was in the nursery, she was with me the whole time, was $15,000. That didn't count the OR, That didn't count my hospital stay. That counted nothing. I had an emergency C-section, and this is how I always tell people. This is how you know that there's a monopoly of bullshit, right? So I had an emergency C-section. The anesthesiologist that came in did not accept my insurance that I had. So, I'm like glitching. I see myself. So I got a bill from the anesthesiologist, and I said, "What is this bill for?" And they're like, "Well, your insurance reduces, pays a reduced amount, but she doesn't have to accept it. So this is the difference." And I'm like, "My insurance paid you like $5,000. Like, just be okay with it. Why are you coming to me for more?"
Right.
And yeah, but they wanted me to pay like $1,500, the difference of whatever. And I said, "This is the problem. I chose my doctor, I chose the hospital, all of those things based on my insurance. But this anesthesiologist who happened to be on call for my emergency C-section now gets to say, 'Oh, I don't take your insurance.'" Well, as far as I'm concerned, if you're working in the hospital on call, you must accept all insurances.
Right.
You don't get to pick and choose which ones, because if that's the case, then you need to get out. Like, you don't get to come in here. And that's where we're at today. Everything is like a monopoly, right? So it's like, we're going to pick and choose for you. We're going to decide and determine what we think is best for you, and then we're going to give it to you, right? It's like gas. That's another way to control people. If you make gas high enough, people can't go places. People aren't going to do anything, and then we're going to shift blame. It's somebody else's fault.
Right.
The president doesn't control it, right?
Now we're working on food shortages. The thing that I find interesting about the food shortages is this: they've blown up 20 plus processing plants.
Right.
So people are like, oh, they're creating a food shortage. Are they? Because honestly, they didn't have to. There's like General Mills and stuff. These are, I mean, when you're getting up in those big corporations like General Mills, and all these other things, let's face it, they're basically owned by the government. They're owned by the oligarchy. So why are you blowing up your own food processing plants when you could just say whatever, or you could use them to poison us, which you've been doing. You could even increase the poison. So that's what makes me think there's a lot more. It's even if it looks like, yes, that's what they're doing. There's so many layers to this matrix. It's not what it seems. So who's really blowing up the food processing plants?
Well, I always think about it like Beverly Hills Cop, the guy that took all the insurance on all his different businesses and then robbed his own businesses to collect the insurance money.
It could, but why would you need to? If you're BlackRock or Vanguard, you have so much money, you don't need to blow up your own shit in order to get money.
Illusion.
Right. So did they really blow up the food processing plants at all?
No, I don't think so. I think it's another issue of fear, another way to control the mind.
Unless you're a believer in Q, and then you think it's part of the plan.
True.
Which I'm not going to lie, I think it would be great if the whole Q thing was real and this was all a plan and the white hats were all coming to save us. But honestly, I think that I am 100% on the zombie invasion thing. I think that would be the most interesting way to go of all the choices, because I really don't want to do the whole socialism, everybody has a chip in their brain thing.
Well, religiously, that's the mark of the beast. So it's inevitable for that to happen.
If religion is correct.
Yes.
Which would be fine. I would be perfectly happy with Jesus cruising on down. Well, all right. Okay. I mean, I did my stuff. I gave my life to Jesus. I'm good. But do I believe that the Bible has never been touched, never been changed, never?
No, that's not no.
Yeah, it's not even the real Bible anymore.
No, I mean that. There's not anything I think historically that's pure, right? So everything is interpretation.
Right. So is Jesus really coming down, and is Revelations even real? And what was the original Bible like? Who knows?
True.
I've literally been reading the Bible and there's verses missing out of there that they just pulled out. I saw a guy the other day, he found a Bible from the 1800s and there were books in there that aren't even in the Bible now.
MOJ talks about that all the time.
Yeah,
He's like a philosopher, like he studies religion, and he talks about that very thing. But everything is done based on someone's interpretation and belief, right? So the easiest thing to manipulate is the mind.
Yep. But they're having a problem now because they can't manipulate us anymore. Every time they try to push through information, there's thousands of, if not millions of us going, okay, well, let me really check this out.
But it's not just us checking it out. It's us having these types of conversations, right? So you get together and you're like, yeah, what's going on over here next door with Karen? Like, what this is. Now we're actually talking out loud. Now we're not afraid to say, wait a minute. Something just ain't right here.
Right.
Because before I say we only got to this place because of COVID, really. I think COVID, as negative as it was a positive because people had time to think. Like shit got quiet. You had to sit down. You had to get comfortable with yourself, and you had to evaluate some things. And all of a sudden, you started thinking, well, why can I still go to Home Depot and that's fine? Why can I still go to the grocery store and that's fine?
Why is Walmart still open when the market is closed?
Yeah, where you can't go, you can still, Amazon is still functioning like normal, booming, thriving, getting richer. It gave people the opportunity to think. So if you were a free thinker, if you, like, I'm in the legal field, everything's black and white. That's it. That's all. Like, there's no gray. It's black or it's white. Like, there's a law or there isn't. You're going to make precedents to set a new law, but it's black and white. It's very clear. So when you think about it in that sense, if you're a free thinker and you start to think, wait a minute, 2 + 2 is 4. Why do they keep saying it's 3?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
yeah, everything you're going to tell me that 81 million people voted for 81 billion people, most of whom are out on the streets complaining about racism and homophobia and transphobia. All these people voted for the one guy who is so obviously, clearly racist, homophobic, transphobic, and I could go on. But yet, we all voted for him?
Well,
yeah.
But see, I think that's the worst part is you hear people say, yes, they believe that many people voted for this dementia-ridden fucktard. And it's even more scarier that people are still supporting him, that they still believe in him, that they still feel like he's doing a good job with what he was, quote unquote, left.
I honestly think that the people who are still supporting him, it's completely out of pride at this point.
Oh, true. Okay, good point.
They're so deep into it that they can't admit that they're wrong, which is a lot of people. In the United States, we have a huge ego problem, all of us.
Yes, agreed.
So these people are like, I voted for him, he's got to be right. And a lot of, especially the older people, have this thing, you have to support the president of the United States, period, because he's the president of the United States. Well, at this point, I don't support anyone in the government.
Right.
I think we need to flush out every single human being in the government. I don't care who they are. They all need to go, every single one of them. Some of them should pay. A lot of them should be prosecuted on brand new Nuremberg trials.
Dude, we can't even get the black book from the island.
Yeah, we want the names.
So they upheld her conviction. What's the problem?
We want because their names are in it.
Well, that's true because there's a guy that a creator that he said if those were quote unquote Republicans, we would know everybody's name.
Right. If it was Trump's gang, that black book would be posted on every single internet everywhere. Redacted, of course, with all the Hollywoods and the Democrats out of it.
Correct.
But here's the thing: we already have the Epstein flight logs.
Right.
I could pull them up right now and read them.
Right.
We already have the WikiLeaks files. We have the videos. We have people who've gone on the dark web and gotten these things
Right.
to the detriment of their own actual physical danger. Because when you go on the dark web, you're literally putting your physical self in danger.
Correct.
We have people who filmed the sex traffickers. We have people that are out there every single day baiting pedophiles and filming them.
Right. I know. I just someone sent me an article today where this guy raped a 2-year-old or 2-month old, and the baby died.
Oh,
Well, he killed the baby.
what on the planet possesses? How?
Yeah.
What?
Kara, you say that as a person who's been through horrific things. If you think about the fact that everything is trying to be normalized, right? So everyone's trying to find a justification in why some sicko preys on children, right down to they must be a Republican. That's why they're doing it. Where do you think it's going to go?
Well, I can tell you right now, every single freaking person who raped me, not a damn one of them was a Republican.
I don't think it mattered at that point.
I mean, and not all of them were white. One of them was not white.
Right. But think about it though, like in that sense, right? The ability to sexualize women, children, everything. It's the same thing with the maps, trying to get inclusive, to be protected under the LGBTQ plus. And then people explaining, quote unquote, what a pedophile is, just because you're attracted to minors.
Oh, did you see that guy? Oh, that guy. That guy. Yes, well, most people are attracted to minors aren't pedophiles, and most people who abuse pedophiles aren't
what? Abuse children aren't pedophiles.
That's one way to get yourself really in. I mean, why would you go on any social media and say something like that unless you're actually looking to get injured?
Because he's a pedophile.
Mm-hmm. So
he's attracted to minors. So I watched a documentary that said, I don't know, some years back, that the reason why more and more people are preying on children is because of pornography. So they said that pornography is so prevalent that they create an unrealistic expectation of sex, right? So you get to a place where nothing is gratifying. So you keep pushing the envelope more and more. So like, think about it. They do these porn things where, these barely of age, or they don't look of age, these young girls. And so it puts in your mind that to sexualize children, because even though these women may be of age, they're pretending to be young. So they're sexualizing youth. They're sexualizing these young girls, these teenage girls with rail thin bodies, no breasts. They haven't really developed. Like, they're sexualizing that in women who happen to look that way. So this documentary said that if you remove porn, it would cut down on people going overseas into these other countries to have sex with children.
Yeah, Thailand.
Yeah.
Japanese pornography is really bad. Really bad. Yeah. They have actual children in their pornography.
Yeah. Because there's no regulations and rules.
Yeah.
There's nothing to regulate it.
Yeah, so, I find it's interesting. I find the Japanese, I mean, there's a lot of beautiful parts of that culture, don't get me wrong. But they continue to do things, and then they wonder why things happen to them. Oh, they had a tsunami. It killed like however many people. I don't know why the ocean would retaliate against you when you're out there randomly killing whales for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
Right.
So, I mean, people just don't think about things, but I think the problem is gone way, like, where it's out of control. Like, we're going to have to take drastic measures at this point in order to get our country back, in order to get the world back, actually. Poor France. Canada.
I know.
Australia.
China
is like, that whole country, literally, I'm surprised they haven't imploded and blown themselves up. China wants the United States. That's why they keep sending people over here, because they want our land. They want our resources. So,
well, but I think in places like China, it's communist. They're used to certain things. Like they're trying to infiltrate and bring that into a world that's free, and we're like, nah, we good. We're not doing that.
yeah, they
We're
have
not
the
doing
most
that.
people on the planet. That shows you how well their communism has worked.
Right.
Their air is so poisoned that none of them can breathe. They have way too many people, even though they tried to keep people from having kids. So the more they tried to keep people from having kids, the more kids they had. And their food is fake. They can't even produce enough real food to feed the people. So they have created fake food.
Right.
Their water is poisoned. Yeah, communism and socialism works. Sure, it does.
Yet they're not falling dead. Interesting.
Well, and not only that, but they have labs over there. They human experiment on their people all the time.
Right. I
They're
know.
all very
My brother
horrible.
and I, they are in the graves. My brother and I, we were talking about if Trump was reelected in 2024, what that would look like. He goes, they talk about history, but what president lost, won, lost, and then won again, right? Because a lot of people feel like Trump allowed this to happen, right? Like it was just like, nope, this is how we're going to allow. Because I think if Trump was still in office, some of the stuff that we're dealing with right now wouldn't be exposed. Did she freeze on me? No, she's there.
No, I'm just thinking of what you said. Well, quite frankly, I mean, that would be great. Quite frankly, I'm not sure that we're even going to have elections by 2024 at this point.
I know, right? Well, it's going to be interesting to see because now in 2022 with midterms, I guess that would be ultimately the determining factor of what our 2024 would look like.
If any Democrat gets into office, literally any Democrat gets into office or Congress or the Senate or anything, we'll know they cheated, because there's no way anybody on this planet, or at least enough people in this country, would be voting for any Democrat at this point.
Carol, I'm going to be honest. I would like to hope. I really would like to hope, but I question it because I still hear people voting out of hate. So when you vote out of hate, you're not clear. You're not thinking clearly. Like you're just like the guy who made the video that says all Republicans are pedophiles. It's the same bullshit. Like what is that?
Honestly, I'm starting to think there's this lady that comes into my work. And every time she comes in, she has some shirt, "Not today, Jesus," with a rainbow picture of the devil. The next time she comes in, she has a shirt that says "Satan loves me." Clearly, she's desperate for attention. Just say anything to me. Just say something to me so I can get in an argument with you, because nobody pays any attention to me and I just need any kind of attention. And I think that these people on the internet who are all like, oh, all Republicans are pedophiles. All Republicans are this. Oh, half of them aren't even real people. And the other half are just some fat fuck, greasy guy fucking shoving bonbons in his face at home, or her face.
Yeah.
And they're just sitting there because they're just so desperate for attention, because they haven't washed their hair in 3 years and nobody wants to talk to them. Well, guess what? Here I am on TikTok. I mean, have you actually looked at some of these people?
Yeah.
What the frick are you doing on any social media?
Yeah. You see their houses?
Take a freaking shower.
Yeah. Clean your house. But because everything is acceptance. So if you say something, you're a bully, you're a tyrant, you're mean. It's you think you're better. There's a lot of things that go into play when you're talking about all these different things, right?
That's fine with me.
Well, I mean, I think we see it more than not, right? So when you're down to earth and you're humble and you're on TikTok, and whether you have 5 followers, 5,000, 50,000, 500, whatever, it never changes your mindset. Now, people whose accounts are large, they're changing their content. Oh, I'm no longer going to do political content anymore. I'm no longer going to talk about this anymore because of the fear of losing their account and their numbers. It's the same thing when you look at people's profiles. Oh, I was banned at 7,000, banned at 10,000, banned at 50,000. Who gives a damn?
Who cares?
Like the numbers are fake. They're not real.
Yeah. I've got 100. What do I have now? 116,000 followers or something like that.
Right.
I can guarantee you 50,000 of them at least are bots.
Guaranteed.
Or people who are following me so they can report my videos at any time that I say something that offends their little dainty sensitivities or whatever.
So, we're Gen X. So
right.
Life looks different for us, right? We're not as sensitive, and I still haven't figured out why Gen X we are the beast. I mean, we're no joke. And it's like people say, oh, we drank out of the water fountain. We did this. We were able to rip and run the streets. We rode our bikes everywhere. We did all these things. And I said, no, I think because Gen X is the most mixed generation. So the Gen X generation had the most mixed kids. You know what I'm saying? Like they mixed races more in the Gen X and created all these little mutts.
We never talked about, oh, she's Mexican. Oh, he's black. Nobody cared.
No.
Nobody cared.
No.
We never talked about it. It just wasn't, you know what we talked about? Hey, that's a punker. Hey, that's a metalhead.
Yes.
You're a neuro.
Yeah, you're a jock.
And then in the 90s came, or a smack, or a cheerleader. And then the 90s, you could add goth to it.
Yes.
But I mean, we never said, oh, that black person, oh, that Asian. I mean, yeah, we noticed the Asian people were smarter or got better grades than us.
Go lay down. Yes. And that was really the whole thing. Go, Creed. Sorry, my dog is in my... Creed, go lay down. You got to go. You can't be up underneath me. Sorry, the dog, he's tripping. He wants to go out. Yeah, but I think too, like culturally things look different, right? So we just kind of ran with the people who were like us, right? Yeah. So if you listen to the same music or if you dress the same or whatever, like if you were an athlete, whatever, it wasn't about our color of our skin. It was just about these are the things we're into.
Right. I mean,
like I snowboarded. So, like you hang out with people who do the same thing as you. You go snowboarding with the same people. We used to ditch school like in the winter once a week and we would go snowboarding. And so like, that's just kind of like what we did. So now it's so strange to me that people are so uber sensitive and it's like, you're crying about what? Like, dude, get over it. We called each other horrible names. I mean, the way we talked to each other was so bad. If we were sensitive, we'd all be suicidal at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we'd be dead. like if you, I'd be like, look, bitch.
Okay.
I'm gonna fuck you up right now.
Right? Who the fuck are you talking to? Like, what's going on?
I shaved the side of my head. How does it look? It fucking looks stupid. Why did you do that?
What were you thinking?
Why? I colored. And I'm not going to lie, okay? I hated the color your hair different color thing in the 80s, and I fucking hate it now.
Right.
It's ugly. Why did you color your hair purple or bright red? It looks stupid. I hate it. And that's how we were.
Right. And ultimately, we were honest with each other, right? So, like, if you put on an outfit that didn't look good on you, and you said, how does this look? We'd be like, you look horrible.
Yeah, like, let me help you.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. We weren't like, oh, let me get my $300 Nikes.
Yeah.
We were like, dude, I bought this shirt. Cool, let's cut the arms out of it.
Yes.
Let's put you got a cool Levi's jacket?
Yeah.
Let's cut the arms off. We're going to fucking put some safety pins in and we're going to draw on it with Sharpies.
Yeah.
We didn't fucking care. Like it was.
We were original. We were original.
And we were the last original generation. The very last one.
Well, that's what makes us dangerous.
Somebody told me that if you had to march to go join the whatever People's Army, would you? I'm like, where do I sign up?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could die. Good.
Well, but we don't have fear of death. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
we're fighters by nature. So we're just like, and maybe we're just more resilient. I don't really know. Maybe we went through more tragedy. I have no idea, like, how the Gen X generation became this way. But what I do know is that
Because our
being,
parents were like, go away. We don't want to hear about your feelings.
oh, that's true. Maybe that's
Just
it.
do your homework. Get
I
home
don't think about it
by the
like that.
street lights out. If somebody said something to you at school, I remember one time a girl started a fight with me. She and we got in a fight. She broke her finger on my hitting me in the stomach, which I thought was hilarious. Um, and it was like, go apologize to her. What do you mean? Just go apologize so that we can get this over with. Good job hitting her in the stomach, though. Or
Right.
like, and I told my nephews that, like, if somebody's, making fun of me, Auntie, kick their ass.
Well, yeah, I told my nephew the same thing. I'm like, just punch him and then they'll shut up and leave you
Yeah,
alone. So,
yeah,
I mean, and maybe that's it because my brother, he's so funny because he said that I was the reason that I taught him how to fight because I was always the one that was like, let's get at it, right? So my brother would just be like, oh, I'm gonna go get my sister, and I would fight boys. I'd be like, oh, you're messing with my little brother? Okay, no problem. I got you, right? And
yeah.
so he said that I taught him like, nah, people pop off, you handle that. Like, you don't just like let people punk you. But we didn't have like bullying. Like, we socked you.
Yeah,
Like,
and
if
then you
you
shut
got
up and you went
ignorant,
away and you never came back.
right? Like, I had a girl who came up to me and she taps me on the shoulder. She's like a big girl, right? She had a sister, and she goes, I hear you don't like my sister. I was like full on in like my cheerleading uniform, right? And I'm like, yeah, and she's like, well, you need. I was like, hold up. First of all, I'm not gonna like your sister because you brought your ass over here to tell me to like your sister. I don't like your bald headed sister, and that's not my problem. Okay. So, now she want to fight you in your cheerleading uniform. So now I gotta knock you out in my cheerleading uniform and walk away from you because I can't get suspended in my cheerleading uniform. So, my mom taught us to be about it. She told us if you knock out the biggest and the baddest, everybody else will go away. So I had to beat the girl up. Okay. So I beat the girl up. It's cool. No big deal. Whatever. You move on. I mean, I done some crazy things to girls. Some girls jumped my girlfriend when we were in school. I don't mean girlfriend like that, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. And so you got to bust somebody with a locker. I mean, that's just what it was, right? So now I think as Gen X we fought. Maybe that's what it is. We were fighters.
I don't know.
Even if you lost,
And the
even
thing,
if you lost,
yeah, the thing is I was always a crazy loony person. I was dressed funny. I looked scary. I looked at you like, go ahead and fuck with me. I always had that look on my face. Go ahead and fuck with me. Go
Oh,
ahead.
that's me. Look, that's
And I
me.
look like that. I pretty much look like that every day of my life.
Yeah, well, that's
Go
me.
ahead
That's
and
my
fuck with
body
me.
language. So that's a Gen
Because
X thing.
some guy came up to me the other day. He goes, well, you might shoot him. And I said, I will stab you in your neck. Like that girl that asked me, there's a girl that asked me out.
Is
We'll
it
talk
different
about
than
it.
that one?
Yes, we'll talk
Okay.
about it. We'll talk about it not on camera.
Okay.
But she said to me, I'm a little crazy. And I said, you're a little crazy? I said, listen, she said something like, I might do this. And I said, no, you're not going to do that because I will stab you in the neck. Like I'll cut you
Carol.
in the neck.
In the neck.
It's not going to happen. You won't be doing that.
Yeah, well.
Because that's how, and I always look like that. I always look like the crazy loon.
Well, I am
Very
crazy.
fun with that.
I am crazy.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to do that to you because I don't want to get that close to you, but I am crazy. And I prefer to hit you than argue with you. That's just my personality. But I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what it is.
Right.
Well, Carol, I don't want to keep you too long. It's been just over an hour.
Has it? Okay.
This was fun.
I know. We
We
have
should
so
do it
much fun
again.
in our conversations.
I know we should do it again.
Yes.
You know what? We should do it, and I should let you get into your craziness about the movies.
You should. I mean, we should do one, and I will go into the movies.
I
The
have to
whole
be mentally prepared for that because you get a little crazy on me, and I'm like, you know what? I might have to put my friend in the loony bin
yeah,
because
but I'm the kind of friend that in the end, if it comes down to it and I'm right, you want to be my friend.
well, I'm already
Because
your friend. Even if you're
right.
wrong, it doesn't matter. It's not going to
Yeah.
change anything. Even if
Because
you're wrong,
yeah, well, I hope I'm wrong.
I hope so too, girl. Because some of the stuff that come out of your mouth be having me thinking like, whoa. So I hope
I
you're
hope
real wrong too.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I am just a crazy conspiracy theorist. I
Well,
really
you
do.
you are a crazy conspiracy theorist. The problem is the conspiracies are coming true.
So let's hope the ones that I've been talking about don't come true.
Well, I'm just hoping the ones that are really far fetched, because some of those, yeah, you pretty far out there. I'm hoping those don't come true. Some of them are okay, but sometimes you be getting pretty deep.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna wrap this up so I can take my dog out because he's driving me crazy, as you can hear. He hears me talking about it. Because he's smarter than most people. So I'm gonna say thank you to everyone who came to join us. I
Thank
want
you.
you
Thank
guys.
you.
Yes, I'm gonna have my friend Carol on again because she's fire, and we just can have great dialogue about anything. I want everyone to go to the website and get some dumpster fire gear. I mean, I finally broke down and did it myself. You know me, I'm hard headed that way. And we're gonna do this again. Maybe I'll drag Carol out tomorrow too, because she's off tomorrow.
Yep.
So we can get together and have some conversation, and I'll bring her back tomorrow, and we could do this again. And maybe we can find someone else to come and join us and have a different perspective of this conversation. And then we can explore that fun stuff like BLM and all that things that we love so much.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah. So with being said, we thank you guys. We're gonna send this out, and we'll see you guys next time.